Hi, today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. There is only 10 days left before the end of January. We need to hurry up and use our time to the best because time really goes fast, flies fast. Let's read this article to start the day, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I am going to start work at like around 8:30 or 8:40. Officially, my work time is from 9 to 6, but since I'm a very loyal model employee for my company KT, Korea Telecom, the number one cloud service provider and a company and data center company and a telecom carrier, right? We are not value-added company. We are just carrier, the largest company in Korea, like Deutsche Telekom, British Telecom, AT&T or Verizon or Singtel, China Telecom, NTT in Japan. So I'm very loyal, but let's learn English and tone our voice by reading this article, and we could be much smarter than several minutes ago. This article appeared on Facebook, but it was written by Ryan Howlett, Karen Fryer, right? Fryer, right? The Fryer is some pastor within the Catholic Church, and Laura Bratton, updated Wednesday, January 21st. The title is "The Stock Market Today." Dow plummets 800 points, S&P 500, NASDAQ sink over 2% as Trump's Greenland threats clobber stocks. Clobber, right? Pummelet. Punch. That's bad. I have a lot of stock in Korean market, so I'm concerned about Trump. Hey, Trump, if you want me to explain the situations around the world, or if you need help from an unknown guy, I am always here. I would be happy to fly to the White House, sit down with you over the dinner. I wish the dinner to be free. If you charge me, I would be very upset, and I would offer my ideas on your problems, right? I'm a good guy. I like China. So you are, I don't know, we could be very good bad fellows. U.S. stocks got clobbered on Tuesday in Wall Street's worst day since October, returning to the kind of tariff-fueled routes that plagued markets last spring after President Trump reignited trade war tensions with Europe over his ambitions to take control of Greenland. That's bad, man, that's bad. But this is good expression. Tariff-fueled routes, right? Tariff-fueled duels, tariff-fueled fights, tariff-fueled routes, spats. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, DJI, sank 1.8%, or over 800 points. The S&P 500 GSPC fell by about 2%, while the NASDAQ Composite IXIC retreated over 2.4% as investors fled riskier bets on the heels of a losing week for Wall Street stocks. On the heels, right? After, right? Right after. On the heels of a losing week for Wall Street stocks. On the heels of, not on the toes, right? Toes are in the front, but heels in your back. So it's not always in the front. So in the wake, right? In the wake of, on the heels of. Tuesday's decline has fully wiped out year-to-date gains for the NASDAQ and S&P 500. That's bad for the U.S. stock investors. Wiped out. That's good expression too. Tuesday's decline has fully wiped out year-to-date gains, like January 1st to January 20th, year-to-date gains for the Nasdaq and S&P 500, right? Tuesday's decline has fully wiped out year-to-date gains for the Nasdaq and S&P 500. And tariff fueled rounds. Wall Street evaluated the risk of full-on U.S. and EU trade war, right? Here, tariff-fueled rounds. Tuesday's decline has fully wiped out year-to-date gains. Wall Street evaluated the risk of full-on U.S.-EU trade war along with the fresh concerns of the bond market, just as earnings season gets going. Over the weekend, Trump said 8 NATO countries would face extra import duties of 10% unless the U.S. got a deal on a purchase of the Danish territory. On Monday, he doubled down on his pursuit of Greenland, even as the EU discussed $108 billion in retaliatory tariffs. The bloc could also deploy an anti-coercion instrument with a potential fallout of some $8 trillion for U.S. assets. Doubled down his pursuit, right? Doubled his efforts, right? They doubled down their drone attacks, right? They doubled down on his pursuit of Greenland. Double down. Instead of cave in, double down means increase the effort. Trump also threatened on Monday to put a 200% import tariff on France's wines after its leader Emmanuel Macron turned down the U.S. president's invitation to join his board of peace. Board of directors, right? Board of peace. That's bullshit. You have UN, right? That's board of peace for the entire country. Hey, Trump, I think you need to see me, right? You have very strange viewpoint, and I would be happy to discuss about it. And maybe I cave in and I double down your viewpoint, or you could change your viewpoint. And you are a very interesting guy, right? When asked on Tuesday how far he is willing to go to acquire Greenland, President Trump answered, "You will find out." That's very typical threatening, deterministic expression the Americans use. They don't have any plan. But I think the U.S. will invade Greenland and occupy it. Meanwhile, Treasury yields jumped to their highest levels in 4 months as a sell-off in Japanese bonds added pressure on U.S. debt. In other assets, the dollar DXY NYB fell to a 2-week low as the Sell America trade returned, and even haven seekers drove gold, GCF, and silver to yet more record highs. Nvidia and Broadcom led big tech stocks down as investors rotated out of AI-linked equities, highlighting ongoing concerns over a market bubble. Rotated out, right? Investors rotated out. Pivot. They made a pivotal change. Rotated out of AI-linked equities. AI-linked. equities, not AI related, but they're basically the same, but AI linked equities. Focus is now turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos, where Trump is set to hold meetings with other countries over the Greenland crisis. Focus is now turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos. The focus is now turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos. He is scheduled to give his key address on Wednesday. Investors are also bracing for a busy earnings slate, with the results from Netflix due after market close on Tuesday. The streaming giant's stock edged up after it amended its bid for Warner Bros. Discovery's studio to an all-cash offer on Wednesday. All-cash offer, right? All-cash offer on Wednesday. Focus is now turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos. Focus is now turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's a good expression. Investors rotated out of AI linked equities. Netflix stock falls after fourth quarter results. Top forecast Warner Bros. Deals hangs in the balance. So because of Trump's threat, stocks fell like 2%, over 2%. And he's going to address to the people, to the world in Davos, because focus is now turning to the World Economic Forum in Davos. And he said, you will find out, right, how far he is going to acquire Greenland. He said, you will find out. Yeah, I find out that you will invade it and occupy it. It shows that U.S. will continue to occupy the Philippines, Okinawa, and Korea, right? Taiwan, Nepal, maybe Kyrgyzstan, Iraq, yep. If the U.S. occupies Iraq and annexes it as a 51st state, probably would be a huge peace in the Middle East, right? It separates Iran from Israel, and it sits in the Middle East so that it could react to any violence unfolding in the Middle East. So that's good option, right? Instead of occupying Greenland. But hey, Trump, if you need someone who is in charge of Greenland, I am the guy. I would be happy to be a governor there and help map out the area so that you could map out or find where the rare earth minerals are, where the gas and oil fields are, and where you could find the farmland, fertile farmland, or arid farmland where you cannot do any business. I would be happy to consult you with establishing data centers and high-speed internet in Greenland, because I work for Korea Telecom KT, number one carrier. My company would be probably happy to help you or help you in America, right? You don't have high-speed internet, so we would be happy to make a profit by working with you, or I would be happy to help you make money. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, today is Wednesday, the hump day. January 21st, 2026. There are a lot of developments coming from Trump. He hates China. China. Always the problem for him, not for us. And also he's trying to invade Denmark and Greenland, to take over the Greenland. Probably I suspect that he would propose to annex Denmark also. And maybe 2 years later, he would propose to annex Korea too, South Korea, to be the 51st state. And he would demand the Okinawa be turned over to the states, so that it could be the South Pacific Territory for the U.S. They have Guam and Saipan taken away from Japan after the World War II. Then later on, he would propose to take over Philippines, so that he could tap into the gas reserve at the Spratly Island and fight China in the sea. Also, to make matters simple, the Taiwan is the prime candidate for the United States takeover bid. I think that Taiwan would agree to be annexed, to be 52nd or 51st if it comes before Korea. The 51st state of the United States. Then a whole series of countries will follow through on Trump's proposals, like Nepal, Kyrgyzstan, possibly Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, and what else? Indonesia, probably they would say yes, and Myanmar, Rohingya tribe would welcome the American proposal. And what else? Yemen, yeah, it's riddled with conflict, but Yemen, Iraq is another prime candidate for the U.S. proposal. That's all my suspicion, but it's a chain reaction. Several years ago, Donald Trump appeared in my dream, and asked for help. I have many solutions for his problems, or his ideas, or his strategies. If Donald Trump invites me over to the White House, I would just welcome it. I would be delighted to attend the meeting with him or his staff, like the young gentleman called, Rubio, and the Hispanic guy, who is it? The parliament congressman with a beard. Rubio is from Italy. Gonzalez? No, it's another guy, right? He has a very square face. He looks very strong. He's Hispanic, and I would be happy to sit down with other congressmen, and also maybe Elon Musk. Hey, Elon, if you're interested in the scientific or engineering ideas or your future business, you should contact me, and I would be happy to extend my help. You are of my age, right? And your ideas are quite similar to mine, right? And I have engineering background. I work for Korea Telecom KT, the #1 carrier and cloud service provider in Korea, right? And I really love my company. I'm very loyal to my company, even though sometimes I get the top-notch performance review by my company because we have a different viewpoint, but I'm very loyal to my company and I like it. I wish my company to be prosperous into 2026, 2027, and 2028 when I retire from my company. Yeah, I was just babbling around, see what I can do, but yep, I'm official tour guide myself too. I am recognized by my government. If you are planning a trip to Korea, like into Seoul, Busan, Gwangju, which is my hometown, that's 3 hours south of Seoul, but by fast train, KTX, bullet train, it's only 1 hour and 45 minutes. Why is just stuck in Seoul, right? It's a metropolitan city, which I live in currently. But you should explore other cities, other rural areas. Gwangju is a metropolitan city, but it has very scenic places surrounding city. You could explore the rural country life and explore the possibility where you could explore whether you could live in Seoul on a very small budget when you retire or when you conduct business. When it comes to business, I see the profitable, lucrative businesses or easy businesses for you to establish yourself in Korea or in the rural area of Korea is the food business, snack, cookies, cakes, and other exquisite foods, agricultural products, preferably processed ones, or pesticide, or environmental friendly pesticides or manures, and the tour business, of course, and language training like English, German, French, Spanish, Italian. Italian, not many people go to Italy anymore to learn fashion. I think they all go to Parsons in America. And Chinese, yeah, many people are learning Chinese these days. Japanese, not many. We used to learn Japanese a lot, but not anymore. Chinese. So you could establish those language schools for those languages and export-import business, of course. Kia Motors, they have the big assembly line factory in Gwangju. So I saw several Canadians established there in the vicinity of the factory, and as soon as they receive the cars or SUVs, especially the Carnival, the model name is Carnival. Carnival cars, they just retrofit it, retrofit or modify the cars so that they could be handicapped friendly, right? So that people with disabilities can use the cars. That looked like a lucrative business. Of course, they remodify it and export it to their country. Also, Koreans love sesame, black sesame from Turkey. I forgot the name, oregano, or I forgot the name. I met a Turkish delegates the other day. They were here in Seoul to sell them to the Korean market, and I attended as a potential buyer. I'm still loyal to my company. I cannot do other business except working for KT. But 2.5 years from now, I have to retire, so that I am thinking of go into the international import export or international trade business, and also cruise ships. We don't have many, even though we are surrounded by sea on the three sides, right? East, west, south, north. We are confronted with North Korea. Speaking of North Korea, also conducting business against North Korea could be prosperous, like intelligence or three-country trade, right? You trade to China and China sell it to North Korea. It's a three-way trade, or vice versa. You can import some stuff from North Korea to Korea via China. And also tiny house business, right? Many people are having tiny houses in the rural countries in Korea. They're expensive, like $40,000 per small house, but you can make the house within like a $1,000 range or $2,000 range. Then you could make a huge profit. And the energy, right? North of Daejeon, or like a 1 hour from Seoul, it experiences electricity shortages because Samsung and SK Hynix, those are prominent semiconductor companies, they use up a lot of energy. They hog a lot of electric power, so that you cannot build data centers in that vicinity, right? You need to go to Gwangju, my hometown, to build a data center. When you are trying to establish a data center in Korea as like a disaster recovery site, you need to come see me, because I work for Korea Telecom and we provide a data center EPC, engineering, procurement and construction, and also we supply corporate internets for the data centers, and electricity, power cells,